AI design its own reinforcement learning algorithms?
Well, funnily enough, we have actually done some work in this area. It's work we actually did a few years ago, but is coming out now. And what we did was actually to build a system that, through trial and error, through reinforcement learning itself, figured out what algorithm was best at reinforcement learning. It literally went one level meta, and it learned how to build its own reinforcement learning system, and incredibly actually outperformed all of the human reinforcement learning algorithms that we'd come up with ourselves over many, many years in the past.
I mean, this is the same story over and over again. The more of a human you put into something, the worse it acts, the worse it performs. Take the human out, does better. If AlphaGo and AlphaZero then are really exceptional examples of reinforcement learning used to the best it can be, you still find reinforcement learning in the large language models that we have at the moment, right? Tell me about how they're integrated into these systems.
So reinforcement learning is used in almost all large language model systems. And the main way it's used is by combining it with human data. Unlike the AlphaZero approach, this means that the reinforcement learning is actually trained on human preferences. So the system is basically asked to produce outputs, and then a human says, this one is better than this other one, and the system becomes more like the one that the human prefers. This is called reinforcement learning from human feedback, and it's been massively important in LLMs, and it's helped transform them from systems that just blindly mimic any kind of data that you see on the internet into systems that actually usefully produce answers to the kind of questions that people really want to see. And so it's, an incredible advance. However, I think we've thrown out the baby with the bathwater. These reinforcement learning from human feedback systems, or RLHF, they're very powerful, but they do not have the ability to go beyond human knowledge. Like if a human rater doesn't recognize some new idea and underappreciates that there are some series of actions that would actually end up being far better than some other series of actions, there is no way that the system will ever learn to find that sequence, because the raters might not understand that better behavior.